everyone, I'm Loida here with Brian, and in this video we're going to cover 4 different tips on how you can be more productive every morning.
Now, when it comes to having a successful morning, I recently did a video on some habits that you can acquire, some things to do, some things to avoid, and it seems that those videos, for whatever reason, seem to get a lot more views, even though they're basic. So I wanted to team up with Loida on this one. I'm going to give you 2, she's going to give you 2. We're going to dive in because these are some of the small little hacks, you can call them, that allow you to be more productive. We know that if you nail your morning, the rest of the day becomes easier because you already create a rhythm. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, and it makes it a lot simpler to carry that momentum throughout the day. And if you start accomplishing stuff 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be a lot easier, and you're already kind of in that flow state. And a lot of people, before I get into the first 2, tend to put things off till later in the day. So that's going to be a bonus tip I give you here at the beginning. Get stuff done earlier. Get the most important and highest priority tasks done early in the morning. Get it done. Make your calls. Do whatever it is that you have to do that requires a lot of focus and attention and a lot of energy. Get that done, because we know as human beings, as the day goes on, what's the age-old tale? Oh, 2 p.m. energy crash. You need an energy drink, and we know that we don't want to fall into that. Okay. Plus life comes up, you have responsibilities, you have kids. In the afternoon and the evening, it gets a lot tougher. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is this. Okay. If you want your morning to be very powerful, these right here, right when you wake up, stop reaching for the phone and playing with it. I know people have admitted to me privately via DM, in person, that they spend the first fucking 30, 45 minutes or hour when they wake up on their phone, and it's a waste of time. You know, that's why sometimes early in the morning, if I get a DM from her of a Sphinx cat, I know she's not being productive, and I tell her, stop, get off your phone, do it later. Okay, this thing is a powerful tool, yet it is also one of the biggest distractions. So you want to severely limit your time on the phone, and make sure that when you wake up, and if you want to refer to one of my other videos that I made recently about those morning routines and what to do in the morning, you want to work out and get the blood flowing. You want to read, right? You want to journal. You want to start doing the stuff that really will help you, right? Look at your day, visualize, do all those things, that some of the stuff that Lloyd is going to cover in this video, but you want to get started on the right track, right? If we get distracted early on by our phone, which is what it is, if you're not purposefully using your phone and you're just listening to it, ding, 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 oh, I need to check how many likes I got on Instagram, how many shares I got on Facebook, it's a distraction now. You are now the effect of the phone. And if the phone is already first thing in the morning distracting you, guess what? Everything else in your day is going to freaking distract you, and you're going to be pulled every which way. One of the biggest questions I get is how to be more focused, how to avoid distractions. Conquer this, and everything else will get much, much easier for you. Okay? Number 2, very simple. You need to, right in the morning, avoid opening your inbox, your emails, right? Why do I say that? Well, it's just like the news. 9 times out of 10, it's negative. It puts bad ideas. If you're a realtor or a salesperson and a deal's falling apart and you read that email, you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And now your whole mental faculty, everything is thrown off, and instead of focusing on what needs to be done and getting ready, you're already daydreaming about how the world's gonna end, and you're not gonna have enough money to pay for your bills, and you're off on the deep end. Okay, what I recommend you do is you do not open them right away. If you're a 9-to-5er, right, or you're an entrepreneur, get into the office a little bit early and set aside those 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is to go through the emails, and that's it. Prior to that, you're not thinking about it or carrying the weight of the emails. And after that, you're not carrying the weight and the burden of the emails. You have your designated time to deal with it, and that's it. Okay, now that one kind of ties in with the phone, but you want to make sure that those 2 things have to be hammered down. 99% of the population in and outside of the US are literally slaves to their email and their phone. And if you were to tally it up, and I know they've done studies, hours are wasted. I think somebody said people spend about 4 hours reading stuff on their phone and email every day. And now
there's an update now that will tell you how much time you spend on your phone.
Yeah, how many of you are guilty of this? And I was at times, but I, for the most part, eliminated it. You find yourself on Instagram or Facebook or on your email refreshing it, doing the little thing where you pull it down and it refreshes just to see if you got another like or whatever. That's a waste of time, and you're programming yourself to have this big of an attention span. And then you wonder why, when you go to a task that requires a lot of focus and intention, why it's so difficult for you to stay on task, right? Again, these little things that seem so innocent are controlling you, and until you take back control, and you establish to be the cause again and not the effect, then you will start to see the other side. The grass is greener on this other side, and you'll now be able to, in the same amount of time, same time windows as everybody else, you'll be able to be a lot more effective. Because imagine the 4 hours I just said, even if you reduce that to 2 or 1, that's 2 or 3 extra hours to read, to take action, to work on your side hustle, to do whatever it is that's gonna get you one step ahead. And once you start doing that, right, in particular in the morning, you're gonna create that momentum, and over time, give it 2 or 3 weeks, not just one day, give it some time, you'll start to see a shift in your psyche, in your emotions, and most importantly, in your productivity. Okay, so those are my 2. We'll pass it to Loida. I know these things need to be implemented immediately. Yeah. Write this down, and the moment this video is over, I want you to apply them. And right now, I want you to go in the comment section and commit. I'm making some changes right now before she starts.
Yep. Now, to continue, the third thing that's going to help you guys be more productive is actually preparing the day before. And what do I mean by preparing? Picking out your clothes, what you're going to wear the next day. I know this is a big thing, especially for women, because sometimes we find ourselves changing our outfits 2, 3, 4 times, and that's taking so much time away from us being actually productive. So start there, picking out your clothes the day before, have it ready so it's one less thing to worry about. Along with that, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a real estate agent, or anyone, if you have any leads or any people that you have to follow up the night before, write down a list of everything that you have to do the following day. That way you're even more organized and you spend less time trying to figure out, okay, who should I contact first? What am I gonna do now? And it just will allow you to be more productive. So those 2, preparing your clothes, getting everything ready the day before, those are gonna help. Along with that, and the 4th point that I wanna bring out, and this is something that I do on the day of before I begin my task, is that in the morning after I wake up, when I'm not scrolling down and looking for Sphinx cats to send to Brian, something that I do is I write down affirmations to begin my day on a positive note. For example, I have 5 that I write down, and sometimes you'll feel like you don't want to do anything, you don't want to talk to people, but I've noticed that when I write down these affirmations, it gives me a little bit more of motivation and actually me wanting to make the calls or do what I have to do. So things like, I will make $20,000 this month. I am a happy real estate agent. Everyone that speaks to me is super excited. I am able to help 40 people this month. Whatever it is that's gonna excite you, this is going to help you just have a more productive day and be more positive and have a better outlook. So those are the 2 points that I just wanted to mention to you guys: preparing the day before and also doing affirmations.
Yeah, and 2 things I can add to what she said. What you said about preparing the night before, that's something I've been preaching for years, and I really instilled in Loida too. But what it eliminates, and people need to see this, is how many of you, and I've been in this position, I'm sure there's days where you are, where in the morning you feel rushed, like you don't have enough time. Right? And that's the worst energy to carry with you throughout the day and into the office. And that right there is where 99% of people suffer, because then they get into complain mode. Oh, well, you won't believe what happened this morning. I was so in a rush and I had to take the kids and I didn't have time to eat. And now it becomes this gossip, drama, bullshit. It's like a novela, right? It's all this drama. So by doing this, what I'm doing is I'm taking control of a mechanism or a possibility of tomorrow, something happening that's going to take my time and make me rushed. I'm already eliminating that possibility even more. Now, there may be an earthquake. Your kids might wake up throwing up, right? Or in the bed with you sick. You can't stop that, right? That may happen, but by preparing the night before, I'm eliminating the possibility of something that's self-imposed because I didn't prepare the night before. And it doesn't take long. No. Preparing your clothes and your leads and all that, or your tasks, what does it take? 15, 20 minutes? Yeah. If that. We have become so lazy and we don't want to do anything besides scroll through Netflix and all that stuff, right? Yeah. Now, another thing you mentioned with the affirmations that I don't know if people caught it was journaling, right? In the morning, you're journaling, right? And you write in the present tense, I am making $20,000, I do this, I do that. But more importantly, you're actually kind of already planning out your day and what it's going to look like, huh? Yeah. And that, I'm sure if you compare that to when you don't do it, it's way different, right? You execute a lot more, you feel like it's more smooth and things are happening the way you want them to happen. Yeah, and it's like I'm writing things into existence. So for example, me, I cold call a lot. So before I begin my calls, I write down, today I'm going to set 3 appointments and I'm going to talk to 50 people and I'm going to get 4 leads. So I'm very specific in the type of activity that I am telling myself I'm going to do, and it pushes me to actually reach those goals for that day. Yeah, And a lot of people, and it's funny, it's become almost cliche at this point with everybody running around talking about the law of attraction and all that shit. The way it's taught now is incorrect, but one of the first steps you can do to take control of the real law of attraction and use it is doing what we just said, right? You have to have the mental aspect, the affirmations, the journaling, the visualizations, but the action has to go behind it. If you're not determined enough and focused enough to take the action and actually do it, and all you do is think it, nothing's gonna happen, right? If we sit on the couch all day and say, we're gonna list 20 new developments this year, we're gonna list 20 new developments this year, nothing's gonna happen. To the degree that you want, that same level of exchange of action is gonna have to be taken. You want a fucking Lamborghini? You want this, you want that. Well, in the Lamborghini case, you have to give Lamborghini value to people. You have to give Lamborghini effort to get to it, period. Okay, so those are 4 tips. Is there anything else that you wanted to say or talk about or add before we close this video out?
No, just pretty much going along what you just mentioned right now at the end. The way that I see it is almost like working out. You know, a lot of people want to lose weight and be fit, but yet they don't want to go to the gym, or maybe they go once or twice a week, but they're still eating crap and they're eating chips and pizza thinking that it's healthy. And that's not how it is. So you have to be putting in the work in order to get the results. And the first place that you have to start is by actually making sure that you're disciplined in your schedule so that you can actually be productive in what it is that you want to achieve.
Cool.
So that's it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoy the 4 different tips that Brian and myself provided you with. Make sure that you are actually implementing these things. A lot of you like to watch the videos and you get super motivated and energized, but you don't put in the actions that for what it takes. So yeah, make sure you give this video a like, share it with somebody else, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Stop sending Sphinx cat things on Instagram early in the morning.